Welcome back, everyone. You see, I'm no longer in France, but I'm very excited to be back here after our first series, which was a doozy and ends up in TSM taking a 2-0. We are getting ready for our interview. Hopefully, we'll get all that solved very quickly. But until then, you have our words to listen to, I guess.
Hopefully.
Magical?
Maybe. I don't know. That's up to you. You're the host.
Unless you want to make sounds or like if you have a like interpretive dance.
I mean, I feel like Snip Snip can describe a lot of the last game.
It pretty much covers what you need to cover for that last game in all actuality.
I can't argue.
It was an impressive performance. Like, I'm not gonna jokes aside, right? Like, TSM showed up today.
Yeah, so I will say that, I mean, if I had to publish like a day one overreaction, I think that FlyQuest and TSM looked really like they had two really tough sets yesterday. Like they did not look good, right? So coming into today, I kind of expected C9 to at least be taking a game. I'm really surprised that TSM took both, and more so surprised with the fashion of how they did it. I mean, the teamwork, the setups around top lane. I don't know what the review was like going from yesterday and into today, but Viper and the way that Hyper and Yursan were able to coordinate around that lane, it was really good League of Legends coming out from TSM Academy. So a lot of props given to them, and especially that trio, able to win top really hard both games and make sure that they didn't just turn that into a lead, they turned both of those into wins.
And I love seeing that trio pop off, right? We had talked a little bit about going into the draft in first game and highlighted that because that is, it feels like the main focus for TSM, right? You do have Yursan and Instinct on bot side, right? Yursan trying to get as much forward engage progress as he can, but Instinct just trying to get as many games under his belt as he can. And being able to see them succeed in what we know they can do is good. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's all about growth in the season and being able to kind of expand those thinkings, those strategies, right, as we go. And it is the first week, so we have a lot of time to do so.
Yeah, and honestly, here's my overreaction for day 2 is TSM, they're going to win the entire split. And Cloud9, where's the Twisted Fate? Cloud9, you had the Twisted Fate available, both games. And we've seen that copy is immaculate on that champion. I love when he plays it because he roams so well. He knows when to go, where to be, and especially because how he's able to play around King. We highlighted that in the pre-show, and we didn't really get to see any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. I do want to, like, this isn't C9's full roster, right? So I think that, you know, when they are playing with Darshan, Malice, and also Isles or Winsome in the bot lane, I think we're going to see more of what that identity looks like. Like, I'm not sure if the scaling is just because, hey guys, like we have subs, this is what, you know, we feel like Keitong and Lawrence can do best, and we're going to go from there, or if this is just how the team's going to play for the entire year, right? So I'm going to kind of hold off a bunch of judgment from them, and kind of touch on the growth, flipping back to the TSM point. That was TakeOver's first Victor game since he came over to North America, so I want to see TSM kind of push their development pieces more, right? Let's see more out of them. Let's see what they can do and kind of really see how they can develop as players. Because I think that the whole roster situation last year kind of fit everyone in the one really specialized role. And I think that in the long term, it's better to kind of see growth, even if picking the new stuff doesn't go well. I'd rather see it attempted in Academy and have it fail than not attempted at all.
Well, and we could even bring that over to TSM into the bot lane, because we haven't really seen much of that change coming in from Yursan. But we had, even yesterday, both games, Nautilus. Both game with Nautilus. Today, Nautilus Rel. It's all engaged. We aren't seeing those enchanters come in from the spot lane to kind of try to break out of that mold. And while I do like those kind of champions, they're fun, they're flashy, they're interesting to watch, you also do need these varied strategies, because what happens if a team decides to go into draft with a similar strategy that you had against Cloud9 today?
Yeah, in the long term, I want to see both. I'm with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And obviously, right. I love we talk about it so simply, but like that's the goal for every team: be able to show different styles, be able to show that
we have
growth
36
throughout
stage
the season,
games,
that
right?
kind of stuff.
You know,
I know. Exactly.
We want to see the guys get better.
When Syndra support coming out, guys, learn how to draft around Syndra support. It's going to work, trust me. But you just make sure you're actually drafting. Not you're not just drafting it randomly and wildly, right? You're actually putting thought into where you want to utilize that.
Yeah, the thought is the big standout for me there. It's like trying to
are you
out.
doubting my big brain, Mazel?
I would say that. I didn't say it out loud. I didn't say it out loud, all right? You can't hold me to nothing.
Yeah, he is doubting me. How dare you, Mr. Frenchman?
Mr. Fridge fan is that my official title? I'm so sorry, audience. We're still trying to figure out the interview stuff where you just get to deal with us vamping until then and kind of talking about the previous series because it was an important one, right? And like, there's still a lot to glean off of the rest of this season, but I do still want to focus on this bot lane and the Instinct Urasan duo because you mentioned it earlier, Cubby. Instinct needs a little bit more time in the academy system. I feel like needs to be able to have a little bit more of that experience and to come into a roster like TSM to have Urasan down there with him, who just seems to be an absolute chad for the squad. It's so nice. I feel like it works perfectly for the style they're kind of going for and the development they're kind of
going for. I mean, Instinct's numbers aren't going to look great today, just given the fact that Urasan was living top lane, but I think he played really well. I mean, he was giving up the right waves. He was still incredibly useful when they needed him, and I want to give the young player a lot of props. This is what we knew that Instinct could do well, right? Throughout his history, because I mean he is only 17, but we do have 2 years of data on him from playing in the amateur circuit. He does a lot with little resources. He is a great positioner in team fights, and the better that this guy gets in terms of laning, which is going to come through more practice and more coaching against better teams, I really think that what Instinct brings in the later stages of the game is huge. So, yeah, I really want to see him continue to make those strides and curious to see how TSM continues to look throughout this split because I think they have some pretty promising dev pieces that they have stuck with, and I'm expecting these guys to just get better.
Well, guys, I have some very heartbreaking news. For the second day in a row, we are not able to get an interview for the series. So we're going to go ahead and send it to a little break. I'm a little sad, but we will hopefully have that fixed up and ready to go next time around for the next series. So we will send it to a little break, and we'll get ready for our second series of the day. We'll see you then. Wait, what?
Got it.
Come on.
Yep.
So wait, we're just going straight to us? Oh, well.
Tired of this. Ooh, oh, what a truth. No one talk now. I'm feeling lost on it. Silence is loud. I get it safe from it. Ooh, oh, what a truth. Hey, I gotta say, something's going wrong, and everything's upside down. I'm falling.
Welcome back. Sorry, we don't have Mr. Frenchman with us for this one. He'll be back later. Don't worry. We'll bring him back. We're just getting really quickly through the day because everything's going. Time travels or passes way too fast. Whatever. I'm not a time traveler. I swear. I didn't come from the future, and I don't already know the results.
Well, that's good. As you know, we want you to be pure and golden, as we do have 2 golden teams walking into this next one in Golden Guardians Academy.
I was going to say we have 1 golden team.
Well, Dig has some yellow and some more gold in the latest emote they have published on their Twitter, which, by the way, Dignitas Twitter has been bopping the last few days. So definitely shoot them a follow. I know that we teased their interview that they did with Darkwings after yesterday's 2-0 they were able to pick up over FlyQuest Academy, and looking to do the same against Golden Guardians here.
And Golden Guardians are an interesting team when we look at them and how they're going to be able to perform. I kind of am looking back to see how it really was when we saw them play just yesterday against 100 Thieves Academy. First game was really rough. It didn't look too great. Ryoma was fine. He was able to get a solo kill over Jimmy N, but it wasn't the best game around the board. It was game 2 when we really started to see them come online, look more cohesive as a unit.
And, I mean, that is what we're going to be looking for here, as I think Golden Guardians, as they have done their Around the World tour in NA, playing all 3 leagues at the moment. I know that, I caught up with Chime before the game and kind of asked him about that, and he said, it's actually been pretty good practice for him, because they're a newer team that plays on stage, and, they've been playing against all the other new teams on stage that have all played really differently. So kind of like having the 3 stages and what he called like a little bit of a hectic schedule, it's kind of forced them to really focus on playing their own game, right? Because they have to play it at every single level of play. And he thinks it's going to benefit him in the long run, which I respect. And I mean, it has been a rather busy public schedule for Golden Guardians, and I want to see if they can continue to show better performances on stages as we keep on getting deeper into the season.
Especially as we get deeper into the champion select that's already been well underway. Double up the jungle bans, both Lee Sin and Xin Zhao taken away from XU. The Lee Sin is expected. We're probably not going to see that get through too many pick and bans. Nope. The Xin Zhao is something that is curious to see. I mean, we've been seeing a lot more of these junglers, especially these skirmishers, that are really starting to pop off. We saw it in the last series. Hyper doing a great job on that Xin Zhao. But we still have, things like Viego. I'm looking at the Jarvan as well. Iconic in Game 2. It looked really good on that champion, but there's another pick that I kind of had highlighted earlier, wasn't there, Cubby?
Yeah, Renekton. Ryoma doesn't play a ton of Renekton, if at all. So we expect this to go in the hands of Tony Top. And I think this is actually something that Tony Top has worked on and can continue to work on in terms of blind picking top laners. This guy, his champion pool, his ability to play bruisers, he's so good at playing bruisers, especially when he gets the counter matchup, really good at punishing those. But his first pick, Renekton, very aggressive, and it gives Dignitas a karma, which, if you guys didn't see, Game 1 of Dignitas versus FlyQuest yesterday, I had a front row seat to some amazing karma play over on the Academy stream, as JJ and the way that Dignitas played with the karma and around the groupings and the poke that FlyQuest was throwing at them was really, really good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I even look at how this karma was when Chime had it yesterday, when they played it in Game 2.
Yes.
It looked really good. They played this exact thing when they were on red side in Game 2 as real karma.
Yeah, I'm actually, now that you bring that up, I'm pretty surprised they didn't first pick this. But if they are going for a Diana composition, this would add up. You want to play fast. You want an engage support. And I know that you're a big fan of this one, Mad Magical, as we'd love to see the fireworks. And Diana certainly brings those on the Rift, as she is someone that is really starting to climb in priority. Those new buffs she got, she's feeling really strong yet again.
I mean, it reminds me when we saw Nidalee in the meta, right? You have this, this duelist that you can work really well with the Renekton top side, where you really try to play around the fact that they are looking for these early plays. And Diana, like you said, you highlighted it amazingly, that they have been able to really buff that and make it actually work way better. And what works even better than the Diana-Yasuo combo?
Now I'm really excited. This is a very different look out of Ryoma, right? We're used to seeing Ryoma have incredible mage play whenever he's able to play that in Academy. I think that he's really underrated as a facilitator, especially for 100 Thieves Academy, as that team was fantastic. But I want to see him on this Yasuo. This is a very different, a very new look for the side of Golden Guardians, and we have what's lining up to be a rather explosive game here early, Mad Magical, as we have a Diana Yasuo locked in, and then we have the Akali on the flip side, as this could be mid or top, and that new tank build we've seen just terrorizing solo queue, even terrorizing some of our Academy games, especially looking at yesterday.
See, I was going to ask you, do you expect it to be more for Dark Wings or Eclipse? That's going to be a big curiosity that we'll have to see as we get deeper into the draft.
I like the matchup better into Yasuo, but I think that Tank Akali is so broken in the top lane that even a bad early matchup just doesn't matter. But it would be a different look for Eclipse, as very much like Tony Top, pretty bruiser-centric player.
Well, also different because we're finally getting to see a different champion from him this split. Double up on the Gwen play yesterday. got banned in the first rotation. So here we see support bans coming through from Dignitas QNTMPAY Academy as Golden Guardians are kind of just hitting that XU into that jungle, not letting him have a fun time.
And Matt Magical, it's my turn to put you on the spot.
Oh.
As I know that
This is unusual.
Iconic and XU was a matchup that we were pretty excited about coming into this game. XU being one of the newest faces that we have in Academy. Iconic participating in the LCS last year, now in Academy this year for this roster. And we're going to see XU's champion pool get a little bit challenged here.
We are. And I'm really curious to see how this is going to work because, I mean, even though it's a new face out of XU and an oldish face from Iconic since he played in LCS for a little bit, these are two players that have come out from the collegiate scene. These are two players that have been able to work their way up, and these are players that have a lot of experience. So looking at how much of the champion pool has been pinched for XU, sure, it's a good look for the side of Golden Guardians, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be the end-all be-all for XU.
I like the fact you bring that up. And, of course, the collegiate backgrounds as well. Iconic coming from Maryville University. It's pretty huge. XU as well, coming from UC Berkeley. So, yeah, good to see some of that collegiate background. Darkwings also from Stony Brook, too. But, yeah, as we dive into the rest of this draft, I would be really interested, actually, to see a Sivir from Stixxay. This is one of his best champions in his career, as Stixxay, subbing in for Violet, of course, is going to be a positional coach for Golden Guardians. And this really makes the Diana Yasuo even more exciting, because now you have a Yuumi to go off the back of that engage, and also a speed up just to give to your entire team to try and keep up with this karma.
So what do you draft for XU here? We've seen most of the meta junglers are taken away. Jarvan's still up if you want to go for that. And it seems like that just might be the call, because what else could he go for? And I honestly even wonder, what can you do as this Jarvan when you look at this composition?
Well, if you ult Sivir, you can burn the flash, which is nice. But also, so what I like with Jarvan, I mean, I think a lot of people see him as an engaged champion, right? Makes a lot of sense. But with Jarvan, especially against a really accomplished or aggressive composition like Golden Guardians, you can flash Cataclysm to start a fight off, and then put everyone in the terrain choke. If you don't have flash, you could have issues with that, and then EQ out. Now, Golden Guardians, they have a lot of mobility with that top side of the map to try and dodge out of that, but still is an option for XU. And hey, to be fair, XU put together a really nice Jarvan game in their first win yesterday against FlyQuest Academy, so good to see him getting that again. We said that his champion pool would be challenged. It seems to be just fine here.
But Cubby, do you remember when Sivir was meta, what she did?
Just tore through everyone with the bouncing blades?
No. When she was
build?
meta. No. Well, yes, partly
Go fast?
The go fast. That's more what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of you go fast, you make the Renekton and Diana Yasuo go really fast. Yumi's attached to one of those three, and Sivir's more of just like the tool to get them to engage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about going fast, right? I feel like that is going to be the theme here for Golden Guardians, as this Diana Yasuo, those first couple, it's really important to get to 6 and utilize those first couple of ultimates well. So it's a pretty different style coming out of Ryoma and Iconic. We haven't seen this yet. This is something that I think Iconic and Ablaze Olive did pretty well with, like the Diana Lucian, Diana Renekton combos that Golden Guardians were running a lot last year with the LCS team. But hey, curious to see if you pull it off with the Academy team as we are diving into the Rift for Game 1 of the series.
Starting it off with a really fun and spicy build coming in from Golden Guardians Academy, but Dignitas, hello! This is something I love. I love when teams look for this 5-man gank early on level 1, trying to see if they can get a little bit of pressure against Golden Guardians, who are completely in the dark. Oh, never mind.
Eclipse. The big man was spotted as... actually fainting. They will wait there. And we're going to pray that Ryoma does not check this.
Yep, he's kind of being cautious. He's like, I don't know. Prowling Claw will be able to spot him out. Takes a little bit of damage. Not too much to worry about, though. Just a dabbing penguin.
I mean, JJ got 40 gold, so I'd worry about that. Take that, Mad Magical.
What can you buy with 40 gold?
It's an investment. Be smart with your money. Passive income.
But it's not passive when you hold on to it. It's not going to gain interest here in
I think it's
Legends.
very passive if you hold on to it.
Passive aggressive maybe, but not really actually passive. It's Ryoma spotting Darkwings this entire time. Going to get a little bit of damage on him.
Oh,
Making
no.
sure that he has to use that shuriken flip immediately. So not going to start with the 5-man strike. Instead, it's going to be an early ignite flash over the wall. No way! First blood for Ryoma!
Darkwing's not respecting the fact that Ryoma has the ignite, has the lethal tempo, and that's not the start that Darkwings or Dignitas was hoping for in this one. As bit of an oopsie, good read from Ryoma. As Ryoma, I mean, this guy, I really think that Ryoma was the strongest mid laner that we had in Academy last year, and the fact that he's on Golden Guardians now, I think is a kind of an underrated story for Academy enthusiasts. You know, given the fact that Ryoma. Really was one of the elite mid laners that was in our league. Even said in the hype video to start off that he thought he was the best mid last year. This year he's looking to prove it on a new team. And yeah, that's I don't want to say that he did prove that by getting a level 1 first blood with ignite and lethal tempo, but it's a step in the right direction.
It's a step in the right direction after you had a day yesterday where you got a solo kill as Victor into Corki. You know, this is big statements coming in from Ryoma. New player in Jimmy N, solo kills him. New player in Darkwings, solo kills him. 2 days in a row, he is bullying these new players to Academy. Says, welcome to my world.
And Darkwings, of course, debut performance yesterday, pretty good, right? He won both sides of a mirror matchup. Got a sweet interview from the Dignitas crew. You can check out on their socials. We also flew on the pre-show here of Academy. Yeah, we got those this year. Not that big of a deal, but, you know, we're here. And... yeah, I mean, Darkwing's someone that I'm excited for, just given the fact that I think last year his role in AoE esports played 20 unique champions in 41 games. I mean, this guy has a crazy deep champion pool. The fact that we're kind of seeing that get to action already, 3 games, 3 unique champs, pretty fun for Darkwings.
I'm wondering when we finally see him actually go for a champion he has played. You know, that's more what I always look for with Darkwings and see
What's the
if
repeat?
he can. Yeah, what's going to be the repeat? I mean, obviously, the first guesses would be Victor Corki. Right here, looking for a gank into the bot lane, getting a lot of damage with the root onto 6A, but he's still got the heals coming in from them zoomies out of Chime.
JJ, though, posturing very aggressively, and I love that ward. Spots out Iconic. Actually, is up a level, could fight. Cooldowns are burned.
Looking for the smite cooldown on Iconic. There it is. Good flash in with JJ2. Flash over the wall, but the root's already there. The ignite's sticking, so XU can pick up a kill against Iconic.
This is great teamwork from JJ and XU yet again, Mad Magical. As I mean, that ward, they spot Iconic just blowing the CDs, and I love the preemptive flash too on the root. I mean, once JJ is able to flash in, land that, Iconic's dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those plays. That's why I even said JJ was a really nice call from him, flashing forward to make sure they can get the kill for XU. And while Ryoma's now getting shoved in pretty hard from Darkwings, despite the fact that he did get that solo kill early on, we're seeing that Dignitas have answers to what Golden Guardians are laying out in front of them. Even though the solo kill happened for Darkwings, they're able to get XU a kill over Iconic. And then mid lane, Darkwings gets a nice shove into Ryoma.
I'm liking Ryoma's Yasuo more and more. The more I see it, the more thrilled I am about it. As very hyphy champion, of course, but
Oh, and he's getting buffed on a 12.2 too.
Oh, don't tell me that. If I was still playing solo queue, I always hated going against Yasuo. I was a dirty mage player though.
Oh, same. I banned that. I don't want to play against that.
No, you gotta ban like the Yees. Like, you know.
I don't give a damn about Yi. I play Malzahar too, so I just ult him.
Okay.
It's easy.
I would expect Mad Magical to play Malzahar. You play solo queue not for your own enjoyment. You do it to take from others' enjoyment, which I somewhat respect.
Yeah, you know, Vigar, brand support. Yeah, you know what? That works for me.
Yeah, it just depends on if you're taking your teammates' enjoyment or the other teams.
Well, the supports get the kills. I've said this how many times? The ADCs get the farm. I get the kills.
I think this is the point where I shift back into the game, as we do have Iconic completing that second full clear, but because of that invade from XU, actually behind a couple camps, which very important going up against the Diana, and as both mid laners are about to ding 6. Yeah.
And look at that. Dude, Chime was attempting to get to Iconic to get that you and me, but it's going to be the re-engage on XU with Ignite ticking away. They've dived back in on top of him, and he is so dead. There's no way he survives.
Yeah, a little bit greedy from XU there. I mean, respect going on to that Yuumi, but I think wasn't expecting Iconic to be under his Eclipse. Almost finds the solo kill on the Tony. He has a W.
Think he's done. Yeah, look at that. He was able to even get the Dominus out of Tony top.
That was close coming out of Eclipse. If that cask puts the Renekton into the turret, I think Gragas nets that one. But instead, Croc Watch still up in that lane.
Croc Watch. Woohoo!
Might have been strategic from Tony Top, too. Iconic's here. If he doesn't buff for the W, he's dead. Yeah.
Croc Watch. Woohoo! Flash, though, from Eclipse. Oh, the Croc Watch is gone.
Oh, no.
Nice play coming in from Eclipse. Croc Watch indeed.
Okay, Eclipse. The dive was too aggressive coming out from Golden Guardians. And, I mean, diving a Gragas is so tough. You get so much healing on the W. You get the damage mitigation, not to mention the body slam.
2v2 in the bot lane. 6A flash, but he still dies to Spawn. Chimes dead too. Double kill out of Spawn.
Oh, holy smoke, Spawn. The E buffer with the flash.
Oh, my
so
God.
Clever. More action.
That just doesn't stop.
It's everywhere.
We get the essential solo kill from the 2 bot lane from Spawn and JJ. We get a solo kill out of Ryoma. Beautiful play from Eclipse topside. What's next?
Hopefully more of this. I'm enjoying myself as, wow, what a start to the game. Let's try and go over the ramification of this. First off, Tony Top, he's going to get a plate here, and Eclipse is down in CS, but the fact that he survived that dive, got the kill, and the assist was huge. Bot lane. Holy smoke, Spawn. That E-flash buffer to get around Chime, who was body blocking, was massive. And keep in mind, Spawn and JJ, right? 6A and Chime were a bot lane in LCS this last year. 6A, of course, coach now. I assume playing less, but Spawn and JJ are one of the only bot lanes that are still in Academy, right? One of 2 that stuck around. They beat the other one, which is Tomo Diamond, which many people believe are a stronger bot lane than these 2, and now are really taking it to 6A and Chime. I mean, Spawn and JJ have been off to a fantastic start this season.
I mean, and you just look to last year, right? You were talking about it.
Yeah.
And you look at Spawn and JJ, they weren't really the conversation starters. They weren't the ones that you really were focusing on. When you looked at the team that they were on, you looked at all the elements around them. Here, though, after yesterday, after day, we're going to, I mean, it is still only week 1, day 2, but overreactions, we got to continue to overreact because this is now 3 games in a row that we are seeing them not just do well, but actually dominate.
And the only one who's behind is Dark Wings. We're really going to have to keep our eyes on Ryoma, who... he's netted 2 solo kills, and if Yasuo gets that 2-item spike early, he kind of does become Thanos as Eclipse. Nice
Good
stuff.
pathing coming in from Eclipse. Though the ult was used, they could get the kill for Ryoma. That's a lot of ults that have been used just to kill this Gragas.
All right, well, that's 4-0 now on Ryoma, as all eyes really have to go on this Yasuo for the Diana Yasuo combo. That's the first ultimate's paying off on the side of Iconic and Ryoma syncing up, so good to see from them. Actually, we'll trade out that Dragon. And also, as Eclipse was able to dodge out on that top dive earlier, actually, you did pick up the Rift Herald off of that, which could very easily be dropped bot here to help funnel spawn more plates.
Gets the Rift Herald, gets the first Dragon. We look at how this composition is supposed to work for Golden Guardians. This is supposed to be a bot lane. When you look at Sivir Yuumi, it is an uninteractive lane. It's supposed to be a lane where they just clear, they poke you out with the bouncing blades, and you're not able to do anything. Spawn and JJ have completely circumvented that with XU here as well, getting the first tower, getting those early kills, making it so it's so much more difficult for us to just look at the top side of the map for Golden Guardians. We now have to say, how is that going to do into Spawn JJ if they continue to have this kind of a lead?
I mean, it makes sense to me from Dignitas, right? You have a Gragas top, just attack the Yuumi. XU's done a good job of that. I think the real concern is that this game's just kind of weird in terms of scaling, right? Like a lot of games, especially in this meta, it's like, all right, this team has Corki, right? I like their scaling. But this one,
I like this better. Give me more of this, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just, like, Golden Guardians, they have a lot of scaling with Stixays on Sivir and Ryoma on Yasuo. But the more important thing is really the onus of execution, right? If the Diana Yasuo combo doesn't land, it doesn't matter. Like, so I really want to see if Golden Guardians can execute this as we do move closer to the mid game. I think the big concern for Dignitas is that Ryoma is going to own side lanes. And because he will have priority in side lanes, he can snowball that lead into mid or other parts of the map with Iconic. Dignitas have to be very careful of this. Now, the bright side of Dignitas, if Gragas is able to deter and engage, or if they're able to land a lot of poke with Spawn before a fight, or if JJ is able to keep them split up with the movement speed buffs, I think that's all very good things that Dignitas could do to try and beat this Diana Yasuo combo, because they have to be careful Ryoma is so fed. If he gets a big ultimate, it could easily melt in a fight.
When we look at the items, we look at who's got their mythics completed. Tony Top, Ryoma, already got theirs. Got a Gore Drinker and a Mortal Shield Bow to stay even more alive when they dive into the backline. Well, for XU, he's been able to answer Tony Top in his mythic. But Spawn, that's the big one for me. Has already completed Divine Syndicate as well as getting that tier of the goddess starting to stack up.
Glad you fit in that Divine
What?
Syndicate.
Oh, huh? What?
We did create that one together, actually. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
I've never
We-
not said that, by the way. I've said it every single time I have to talk about it on broadcast.
Well, I'm glad that I was able to help you create that despite, not watching any anime. Moving on. Dark Wings might be under threat from Iconic.
Nah, he's fine.
Okay.
He's fine. Yeah, see right there. Ryoma was the one tank at the turret.
He'll heal off the next wave.
He'll be fine. I'm not saying he's not going to be fine. It's just, there wasn't really a threat. It's still hard to kill an Akali underneath her turret, kind of like how it's hard to kill a Gragas underneath their turret. You're not really going to be able to. I know.
Yeah, Eclipse was doing his best Wonder impression. If we have any LAC fans in the chat.
Yeah, and, that's the great thing about Gragas top. This is kind of what you had talked about in the previous series.
All you have to do is go pro is beat the 3-man dive instead of the 2-man dive, right?
Well, I mean,
Wonder
so
did
far, Eclipse has already gotten the 2-man dive under wraps.
One more.
One more. Just Ryoma, he's got 4 kills, and if he's able to survive that next time, we expect good things from Eclipse, I guess.
Honestly, Eclipse has been having a nice start. As I know that the notes that we've gotten from Eclipse, Darkwings said that he's really funny, which you kind of saw in the interview. And I know that Dignitas, early season, have really kind of spoken a lot about, like, hey, like, we really like the team environment. Like, we're having fun, we're laughing. It helps when you're winning, which Dignitas has done quite a bit of. But, hey, it's a young team, a young coach. So props to Deos for at least instilling something in their players where, the fact that these guys are talking about it, I think that means a lot.
Well, and that's something that I actually like to see with teams, because that means if you have a player who gets behind, such as Darkwings in this game, if the players are all having fun, they can kind of make sure that they can bring that player back in and have a positive attitude. Like, hey, look, I've been kind of inting in mid, but it's okay. You know what? We're going to work together as a unit. We're a good team. We've got this. No problem. Spawn's going to carry.
And, it still is the Turbo Chemtank Akali, even though it is mid, as that is the decision. Darkwings, this build, if you haven't seen it yet...
Saw it yesterday, I know.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, it is kind of a terror. So the idea with the Turbo Chemtank, you can kind of proc that and Demonic at the same time, given the passives. I believe it's in the process of being hotfixed or nerfed for the next patch, but it does exist on this one, and it's really strong.
It is really strong, and at the moment, being down nearly 2,000 gold for Darkwings, like you kind of talked about. You talked about it in the top lane, though, but you still talked about it, that the fact that you have that tank Akali, you fall behind, so what? You're more of a tank. You're going to have that good burst now that you got the Turbo Chem tank completed. Once you have that Demonic Embrace done, you're just going to start solo killing anybody who's the backliner looking at 6A and Chime.
Also, Shadow Flame, extra efficient against all the shields this game that GG will be rocking between the Yuumi. Also, as we have a flank.
That was a lot of damage that he took out from
TP.
that True Shot Barrage. TP is behind, but do they want to commit? Darkwings re-disengages as we have Tony Top on the other side. He's the one now flanking. Eclipse is in the middle of them. They've got the final chapter coming in with a root on top of him, so they got a lot of damage, but they got to keep in mind that Tony Top's on the other side. They're getting a lot of damage on Eclipse, but he's the tank. Got to focus on Iconic. He's going to be able to smite down, and they're going to be able to get a Guambo combo. Pick up the 2 kills for Stixay. XU's locked in the pit. He might have got a nice flag and drag, but he is dead. Triple kill coming in from Stixay.
And we talked about how the onus is on Golden Guardians to execute. They did just that in that team fight as Iconic found the 2-man Ryoma, instantly ults off of it, and Dignitas melts at the hand of the Diana Yasuo combo.
And there is where we see that power, the back line. So much had been focused into Stixay, but so what? They're able to get a beautiful ult combo with Iconic, with Ryoma, and we're starting to see why this was drafted.
Oh, man, that was beautiful play coming out. I love how Golden Guardians, too, just were able to stall everything out. We're just kind of waiting for the right moment. And Dignitas, to be fair, did a decent job of trying to bleed out cooldowns, right? Darkwings baited out the first tornado. Eclipse flashed the second. Iconic was being very patient with how he held his ultimate, and props to Iconic. It paid off, right? A beautiful engage as they got the objective, they got the fight, and Golden Guardians give themselves a bit of a foothold in this game. The first true lead we've really seen.
See, that's where it's like, it was great from XU, where he was patient. He tried to focus down and burst Iconic, but Chime had already attached to Iconic at that point. So you get the additional heal, and then when he was able to hold on to his cooldown so he could use that Lunar Dash, then ult in the backline for Moonfall, it was all set up. They weren't able to deny the Wombo combo that had been built by GGA.
And a lot of that to Eclipse, that cask, right? It was trying to knock Iconic into the team. Not able to knock him into the team, right? So
Yeah.
kind of fell apart there at the hands for Dignitas, but let's see if they can do it better with the next Dragon, as it is 1-1 on the board. We do have the new soul, the Chem Tank soul, on the Rift, as Spawn has now been shifted into the mid lane, and as Real Karma mid, it can put out a lot of poke, a lot of damage, but you can see Chime now attached to Iconic. I think we really have to keep our eyes on that combo, because wherever they go, that's where members of Dignitas could fall.
You have 6A on the Sivir for wave clear. That is the job of Sivir.
Hit the
Everyone
minions,
else
baby.
You hit the minions so that we don't have to worry about it getting shoved in, because you look at Dignitas and what they have drafted, they don't have the best wave clear themselves. It's going to be difficult for them to get anywhere near, so the Sivir are just going to constantly harass them if they don't start these fights.
I mean, you can't. You have Ezreal, which is sick wave clear, but you definitely can't keep up with a
Compared
push
to
of
a Sivir? I was about to say, it's like, it's okay.
No one compares to
Compared
Sivir.
to Sivir, though? No.
Honestly, this is something else it's actually kind of funny, because Stixay and Chime, keep in mind last year for LCS, they ran this combo paired up with the Tom Kench mid from a Blaze Olive, right? And I like how when you have a non-wave clearing mid laner, I feel like the Sivir is a really good way to kind of make sure that your team still has some of that wave clears that's so important for deterring pushes and just keeping your turrets alive and keeping the gold in your pockets, not the enemy. I think combining this with the Yasuo actually made a lot of sense for the side of Golden Guardians, so kind of want to credit them on, as the game goes on, we're kind of seeing more of that strategy come to fruition, and this seems like something that has been practiced or modeled and seems to be well put together from them.
So I want to ask you this. Do you think the Chemtech Rift might actually be detrimental to Golden Guardians here, only because it makes them feel more liberated to play aggressively?
That's like the true masochist statement, just saying that we expect this team to shoot themselves in the foot because we have a different rift.
Yeah, no, seriously. I'm saying this because if I had this and I was this far ahead, you know what I would be doing every single time? I would be diving over and over again, because I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be able to kill them afterwards.
You know what? I'll leave you to kind of figure that one out in the lab. That's I don't think I want to deal with teams throwing their own leads because of certain soul spawns. So
I'm just saying, I know what I would do, but there's a reason why I'm here and not there.
that's true. With that in mind, there is 1 minute until the upcoming Dragon. It is the first chem tech that we have on the map, and it's really important that Dignitas are able to get a mid push and able to try and get mid lane priority, because if you get the Diana Yasuo in the fog of war where Dignitas doesn't know what they're walking into, that could be really, really deadly for their side. So I'm curious to see at the moment with Golden Guardians having complete control over that bot side, if they even shift their power down into that bot river, because we have Axio and JJ trying to make a play for this top turret instead.
Right, and I was about to even say, when we go and rewind the tapes a little bit, it was Eclipse, XU,
Ryoma.
Darkwing's dying. They're looking for the dive onto Eclipse to get
Ryoma.
more kills for Iconic and Ryoma, but it needs to be Spawn. Spawn's still mid lane. Top side, we see that Dignitas are answering that. They sacrificed the tank Gragas so they can get a nice push going.
Eclipse did whiff out on Iconic, who was ahead of the play, as Tony Top is going to try and contest this wave, but I don't think we'll be able to. I don't mind this trade from Dig. The fact that Eclipse goes down is a bummer, but man, Ryoma with some of the movement on the Yasuo, that was really nasty on his end.
I mean, it's just proving why he's one of our players to watch when it comes to Academy of Spawn. Falls, 6A time.
So,
Whoa. Okay, this game just doesn't stop. You're not allowed to talk, Cubby. It's all
And he
me
died.
today. It's all kills for Dignitas. And Dignitas right there, it's a good play to get that dive going, but what's happening inside your own base? We're not talking about it. Ignore it. It didn't happen.
oh no.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
We tried.
Nope.
It was
Nope.
going to be close, right? That's okay.
Cubby, we talk about what happened to the bot side. Not the top
And
side doesn't
inhibitor fell.
exist. Yeah. It's good.
And we got objective bounties up.
And a chem tank was taken that time.
Yes. Good job, Golden Guardians.
Yeah. Really good stuff. Nothing else happened. Look at the gold. Gold's interesting. We got a nice... oh, my God. That's a 3,000 gold lead for Ryoma over Dark Wings.
Yeah, Ryoma's been doing some work.
And Spawn, the one member that I was kind of looking at for Dignitas Academy as being a player that they could fall back to, that's not looking like it might be the case anymore. He's down 1,000 gold to Stixay 4-1 on this Sivir. I mean, I was expecting, you're there for the wave clear and you're there to be a body, but Stixay saying, nah, I'm here to kill them too.
Well, if you want a fun fact, Mad Magical,
Ooh, I like fun facts.
Stixay, of course, a player that we've had playing professionally since, season 4 or 5, like around that time. He was a part of the CLG organization for a long time, including the team that made it all the way to MSI finals. Much thanks to Stixay and his own play. Career win rate on Sivir, 83% in over 20 plays. So I know that Stixay is transitioning to a coach role now, and him stepping up and playing while Violet is still coming over. It's been rather good for Golden Guardians. He's still showing why he was able to play at such a high level for such a long time, and honestly feel pretty happy for him that gets a couple more good games in before he does shift over to that full-time positional coach role for Golden Guardians. And yeah, showing why they picked the Sivir, right? I think it's been a really sound strategy and decently well executed from the side of Golden Guardians.
I think it also makes me excited to see how he's going to be able to transition over to that coaching role, especially when they bring Violet, and how Golden Guardians Academy are going to be able to shift their focus. Because here, they drafted for the top side of the map. They didn't draft for 6A. Ryoma is 4-0-4 on this Yasuo with the combo of that Diana behind him.
Yeah, speaking of that, their head coach is Acadian, right? Another player transition to coach. And keep in mind, 2021 summer, Acadian was an MVP candidate, given he was able to step up in the Dardock's shoes, and it felt like he stepped in and Dignitas didn't miss a beat. But putting his test now to seeing if he can help this team develop and get better throughout the year. And I'd be really curious to see as we get more years of League of Legends under our belt, more people that can step up and have the maturity to be coaches as Dark Wings is going for it.
He was trying to set up for this 4v2 fight, but it was already the kill coming in through for Stixay. He's rooted in place. It's going to be the shutdown. Give it over to XU while Ryoma looks for the backline, looks for another kill with Iconic getting the wombo combo on a Spawn. Double kill comes in from Ryoma. Tony Top, he eats up that disengage coming in from XU so they can look for more. They've got, 4 kills for 2? I'll take it.
And they're looking for the buff on the 3 remaining members as Ryoma, he's a crit Yasuo, right? You can melt through this Baron, and man, Ryoma, this was the comp for him to carry, right? And he has done that and more for this team. There was one point on the scoreboard where he had 3 kills, and the rest of his team, they lost both sides, right? Eclipse dodged out on the dive. Spawn JJ pulled off a beautiful dive in the bot side with XU, but Ryoma was the one who was strong, who won the lane, and Golden Guardians playing around him. He's been the one that's carrying this lead home as they have really put it together well, this Yasuo-Diana combo.
And that's what they had to do in order to win this game, because we looked towards Spawn and how he had that lead. Him and JJ were able to beat out 6A and Chime in that early fight, but it hasn't worked out since then. It's been great topside play coming in from Ryoma. Iconic, even after a pretty bad dive against Eclipse, was able to bounce back well from that, look for more plays, and get the rest of the map rolling.
And, they've done nothing but roll after that, right? It feels like after that one dragon fight, it's just been Yasuo, Diana, and the Yumi kind of assisting the two of them, just dictating the map as they're waiting. So I actually like how Golden Guardians, they're waiting for this wave to be synced up with the top wave. You can see Tony Top trying to take that top inner turret. They were just holding it there, not pushing, keeping the waves buffed up as XU. He has snuck in behind.
You know what I've just realized?
What?
Iconic's 3 levels up affects you.
Yeah, that's what happens when Diana starts getting ahead.
Yeah, that's
you can clear pretty fast.
Well, look at that. 1 level lead top lane, 3 level lead jungle, 2 level lead mid, 2 level lead bot. Same levels for supports. Who cares about supports?
No, I like the fact you bring that up, right? Because a level, that's like, 500, 600 gold of stats every single level you get. So, this lead for Golden Guardians even bigger than what shows on the scoreboard. As Ryoma is fishing.
They're just trying to scare away. They're just scaring away Dignitas so they can get another inhibitor as the bot lane had just respawned theirs.
But to be honest, I don't know how much the level's worth. I'm kind of taking a guess. close.
40 gold maybe. But right now, we're looking at a fight. They're going in. A nice eclipse, but unfortunately, he just cannot do anything to really back up XU. He's already dead. Tony Top goes gold. Nice ballady block coming in from XU. Try to see if he can get a little bit more damage. But Ryoma was able to get a flash. Looked for another re-engage. Getting a lot of damage on the eclipse, but he's pretty tanky. They've got the route they needed to. JJ sidesteps to the tornado to make sure they can get golden out of Ryoma. Still alive. But look at the damage that they're able to do. They're actually getting a lot from the side of Dignitas. They're forcing away as many members as they can, but Stixay just takes a Nexus turret all the while because he doesn't give a damn. And now he's got the damage on the Eclipse. He's just looking to see if he can take him down. He body blocked himself, and he gets a kill for Ryoma with the turrets gone. Dignitas, they are now suffering their first defeat here at the hands of Golden Guardians, at the hands of Ryoma, 8-0 on Yasuo.
He went legendary, and it started from level 1, quite literally, as picked up that solo kill, just was able to run with it from there, and this is a really good sign for Golden Guardians, because this is a team where we look at them, they have the only 2 members that played in LCS last year returning to Academy with the full rosters. Ryoma is someone that we have as a top mid laner. Tony Top, kind of someone that I think Golden Guardians they picked him up from EG saying, yeah, we can develop this guy. We feel like we can get a lot of even more out of him too. We have pretty high hopes for Golden Guardians, given that a lot of these players in Academy have a lot of experience under their belts, and it's good to see some of that in that game. I think that's the cleanest game they put together, even considering the 2 yesterday.
And see, I think I even like how this is more for the side of Golden Guardians, because now, I talked about it just briefly, but the buffs that are going to come in for Yasuo is going to be soon. 12.2, next patch. And if we're already seeing this kind of play out of Ryoma before the buffs...
Yeah, Ryoma must have came into 2022 being like, I don't want to be known as just the mage player, right? As he murdered that game on Yasuo. I mean, holy cow, 8-0-5. He wasn't. I mean, it was a big mistake from Darkwing's level 1, taking that E. But Ryoma didn't make any mistakes. It felt like. I mean, he played a very mechanically difficult champion to execute so damn well that game. And so massive props to Golden Guardians.
You had talked about it. Every other lane was behind except for Ryoma at one point. He was the only one that was positive in kills, and even at CS, and still was able to win the game. That is beyond impressive.
Yeah, I mean, really can't say enough good things. Also, Stixay getting to increase that win rate a little bit on Sivir before he shifts into that coaching role. So always good to see. Kind of fun, having such a storied LCS player put up good games in Academy as well as he steps in. And good luck for Golden Guardians. I mean, a very different comp. I don't think we've seen a Diana Yasuo played yet here in Academy. I know unless something crazy went on the other stream during our first series. But that is something that's very aggressive and kind of, the look that we want to see out of these Academy teams, right? It's a best of 2. We keep on talking about, pushing yourselves, trying to find the right composition. I like that response into the Karma, right? They see the Karma. They're like, if we attack the top side, if we pull off this combo, avoid extended fights, we can win. And that's exactly what ended up happening that game, as really nice, well put together draft and win from Golden Guardians.
And with that win, it is a solid start for Golden Guardians, making sure they can take down the undefeated previously Dignitas Academy. We're going to toss a break. When we come back, we'll have our Frenchman here. He'll be able to help us out, break down this game a little bit further, so don't go anywhere.